Welcome back. It's me. What if Rogue Stories here? And I'm doing the second part, now, because I want to do the second part. If you didn't watch the last video, suggestion, watch the last video. And we are taking it right off to when Julia is basically heads back home, does whatever she wants, makes a few new weapons, and then comes back to the guild by running across the entire kingdom to get to a guild. As she gets there eventually, as the as the person by the the person that she basically gets some of her quests from or recommends quests, states, "Oh, Ajovia, you're finally here. The guildmaster is waiting for you. She says she has something to speak to you." As she opens a back door, as Julia enters the back door, or a way to a back door, as she enters a room. Julia, as we see this weird scene. An unknown lady, plus the guildmaster, is arguing constantly. Or they were talking, and yeah, as the guildmaster notices, Julia, you're finally here. Well, we have something to speak to you about, as this unknown lady states. So, this is the young lady that you basically nearly scammed of all her money, isn't it, darling? As the guildmaster stated, what do you mean scam? I didn't scam her. I just gave her a I just gave her a thoughtful price that she can get for for the things that she wants. A thoughtful price, you say? As a anger symbol appears on this lady's side forehead that only we can see, us the viewers, as she states, a thoughtful price. You offered her 5 gold pieces for just a barrel of iron. Who in their right minds would offer that? They scream. As she states, as the guildmaster states the following. Oh, what? You're calling me crazy now? You do realize it takes a lot of money to run a guild, right? I have people to pay. As I would state, the merchant the guild master that is the owner of the merchant bull guild states, yes, I do know that because I am a guild master as well. I have people to pay as well. But you don't realize you nearly scammed your own people out of everything they had. You gosh darn lunatic woman. As yes, this argument carries on until it went to a weird subject. Oh what? Oh what? At least I'm not as clumsy as you and your big jugs that keeps on bouncing everywhere. You break nearly every single thing that's expensive that you find with those big bahungas of yours. As this woman takes offense to that, as she says, huh, at least I don't have at least I don't have bricks for a, at least I have stuff. Unlike you and your bricks, as, yes, this gets a weird turn. As they are arguing constantly, throwing insults left and right, and even insulting each other's breasts. This is just another day in an anime universe, isn't it? Continuing on, as Julia's just watching this scene, being quite scared, as there's this purple aura around him. As I would state that someone would state the following. Please, you two, stop this. Julia's still here. And you had something to speak about with her? As they break out of their arguments, oh yes, back to business. And enough acting like children. As she looks at the wizard guildmaster, as the guildmaster states the following, yes, let's stop acting like children now. As they both are, yeah, they both don't like each other. but somehow they work together. As the Merchant Bull Guildmaster states, so I am. Hi, my name is. Hi, my name is Teresa Von Holland, but you can just call me Teresa for now. And I believe you went to my guild to order a bunch of metals, right? And it's stated on the basically the papers you filled that you run a blacksmith. Am I correct? She states yes. Well, on the basically the sector you state you were in, you were quite far from your guild. We would like to offer you a bit of something. And what is this? We own a bunch of plots of land that are nearby the sector of the basically district. As we would like to give you one of those plots of lands if you sell where you're basically if you move to one of these plots of lands. You can either buy the plot of land from us or you can rent it. Don't worry, we don't ask that much, but buying the plot of land is from us, from a merchant guild, is gonna cost you a lot. So I suggest you rent it. It's more beneficial if you do. As what are the benefits if I rent the plot of land that you are offering? Well, number one, all the you can order mostly anything and it will be half price. You will also be on our I guess you will also be a member of our guild, our merchant guild, a member. So to become a member of a merchant guild, you have to have a specific business. You also have to be stated on a specific spot of plot, or should I say plot of land. The merchant guild must either buy the plot of land or you must move to a plot of land that they already own and set up your business. Technically, a business that is set up on a specific plot of land that a merchant guild has owned is technically part of the circle of or should I say, the circle of merchants, and you can sell your goods for a lot more money by the merchant guild, or you can basically get half price or even free stuff from the merchant guild. And that's yeah, but that's like you buy materials like monster materials to make more weapons, to put in a blacksmith state. You buy more materials to make more weapons. The iron you get from the merchant guild is free. The monster materials and other things you have to pay for, but it's still half price because you're part of the merchant guild. And on top of that, you get basically merchants that are more willing, if they are like partnered up with a specific merchant guild, they are more willing to buy stuff from you. So yeah, it's a lot of complicated things, and I guess I need to explain it in basically a different episode, but not now. But yes, let's continue. As she explains all the benefits, as I would state that she would take it, because it only helps her in the long run. But there is quite not a problem. There is a thing that she always has to does because she's set on the Merchant Guild's land and she's part of the Merchant Guild's group now, or member of the Merchant Guild. She also has to pay tax. The Merchant Guild that she's a part of doesn't really ask for a lot of tax. They only ask for basically if you were part of the other guilds, merchant guilds, they would ask you a specific amount of money. This money being either in basically copper, silver, or gold. But really, the merchant guild that she is a part of doesn't ask for any, basically doesn't ask for a set value. All they ask for is you can give money for taxes. Yes, you must set. Yes, they will collect taxes every time. Every month they will collect taxes, but they don't ask for a set value. So you can give as much as you want, and they won't complain about it because they don't have a set value. But to basically, how can I say it, be the most person that pays the most money to the guild will basically mean if you're a person that pays more money to the guild, you are more likely to get more people, basically more of your weapons or more of the guild buying your stuff than and some of the merchants buying your stuff that is partnered with the guild. That, yeah, it's basically more money and more, how can I say it, more people will come to you, I guess, and you also get more fame, to put it in simple terms. Don't want to get all scientific now. But yeah, you'll see in a minute. As, yeah, she needs to pay taxes. That's the only thing. As I would guess she does accept this. Because really there's no set price of how much she needs to pay. She can pay literally 1 copper per coin and that would be fine. But she's not going to do that because she's not a D. So let's continue. As that's all that the Merchant Guild wanted to come for. As I would state that she would leave now. And I'm telling you now, like how like between the two heights, the Merchant Guild is taller than yes, Saber, than Sabertooth. Yes, she is taller than the guild master that is here, that we know. So her height, comparing this guild to her, she is shorter than the merchant guild master. She's basically the height of where her breasts stand. So let me show you the image again. She's basically round about her height level. Yeah. Basically, that's how tall the wizard, basically the merchant, the guild master we know, or the demi-human guild master we know. And that's how tall the merchant guild is. The merchant guild masters basically is. So yeah, these two don't like each other. They don't like each other, but they still work together. Continuing on, as yes, as the merchant guild leaves and states, whenever you're ready to move, you can basically contact me. I'll be in the guild whenever you're ready to move. As before she leaves, her guildmaster states, Julia, yes, there is, I know you've hit E rank already, but one of, uh, my friend from another guild has asked me to do them a favor. They are basically sending a hunter, or should I say, an adventurer here. They come from the warrior guild. As one of them are the guild master is my best friend, and I know her well. She asked for a favor to if I had any mages that were still a low rank in basically my guild. As I stated, yes. Their level had to be at least above 18. As you were the only candidate that was perfect for that. You were a low rank and also you needed a partner to go into the dungeons with. As I basically put a word in stating that you might get a partner soon. And you might be able to enter the dungeons today. He should be coming now, or they should be coming sort of now. Don't know when they're going to show up. As a few hours go by, she's looking over the quest as somebody enters the area. This person is wearing a coat over his entire body, just like Julia, covering up both of his arms and his legs. But you can see his face and his chest. That's it. Basically the sweater that he's wearing underneath. As he looks around, as the receptionist points him to where the guildmaster is, as she is sitting on a table with next, basically a drinking table, as she is basically drinking with a bunch of other guys, all guild adventurers, not just guys, also females there as well. As I would state that the receptionist would call the guildmaster, stating he's here. As the guildmaster would jump off the table, being so small and short, as she would walk over to this boy, being exactly the same height. He is the same height, she is the same height as Julia, and also the same height as him. They, or him, they look like a 6-year-old. So does Julia. So the guildmaster also looks like a 6-year-old. But it's basically their height. As we continue on, as they talk a bit, as I would state that the guildmaster would call over Julia. As she would wait, as Julia would come over, as the guildmaster states, well, this is going to be your new partner going in the dungeons. So, meet, hold up guys, meet, this is Heisenberg, or Heisen for short. Introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Heisenberg Metal Akana, and it's good to be working with you. As she introduces herself, hey, Julia, nice to meet you. As, yeah, it's an awkward meeting first, but that will be Julia's partner for now, while they enter the dungeons. They couldn't enter alone, so they had to enter with at least one partner. As yeah, they chose Julia and Heisen to be her partner and his partner. As yeah, you can tell there's quite similarities. As she states, so if you're gonna go to the dungeons now, you can go to the dungeons. Not that you two are there. So I hope you picked up a few quests while you were at your guild, and I hope you picked up quests here, because you two are gonna be, I guess, your first times in the guild, in the dungeons. As I would state, the guildmaster would give them a area where the easiest dungeon is, where they should start at. As they would go off, the easiest dungeon, or the third ranked dungeon, it's basically E rank. It's E plus 2. As they enter, a lot of people are here. A lot of people that are technically level at least like 19, 20. But I can tell you now, Julia's higher. She is at least level 28. And approaching 29 fast. Heisen's level, well, his level is round about like 25 to 26. Now, he has a lot of strength, so does Julia. His speed, he's slow. His durability, he's a heavy durability user. And I told you, most of the people in that guild are tanks. So, he is slow, he has heavy damage, and yeah, he can take a lot of hits. A lot of hits. Julia's a fast and nimble character. She's not that durable, but she's not going to get hit anywhere because of how fast she... So yeah. as they enter the dungeon together, as they speak. So, you're D-rank. So you're bronze D-rank, right? Yes, I'm a bronze D-rank. So I guess you're my senior for now. As he states, yeah. As it's an awkward thing. They're gonna get used to each other eventually. But you just have to wait for that. As they enter the dungeons, they go down I guess an elevator. As they enter the bottom section, it opens, and I bet you're wondering, how is there an elevator in this day and age? Well, if there are flying ships and blimps, then yes, there is an elevator. As the gate opens, as now they are able to go into the dungeon. First floor, as they begin wandering the dungeon, trying to go down deeper, as they came across a few slimes and even a few killer rabbits here and there, but they didn't come up against the bigger or medium-sized monsters yet, quite small, as they were at least in a bundle group of 15 to 13. As yes, I'm gonna explain what happened in the battle. The first person to aggro them was, I guess you can say, Heisen. He was the first person to aggro them, as he basically, I would state that instead of morphing his hand into a sword to try to basically hide, he pulls out a sword as he swings at one of the slimes, cutting the core. As he didn't cut the crystal, he just cut the core, and that's it. As he swings at the vest, as a skill activates that he has, as all the slimes and all monsters nearby start aggroing on him. As Julia conjures a spell. The spell is wind, as she conjures a wind slicing spell, she basically wipes out a few of the monsters that were about to overwhelm her Heisen. Or should I call him Hanzo? Just joking, Heisen. As he thanks her and continues on wrecking some shiz, while she is covering him with either boost or heal. As this confused him, because number one, she's an attack elemental mage, but she can use heal magic and boost magic at the same time. That isn't right. There are specific mages for specific ranks. You get the elemental attack mages, you get basically the mages that boost other characters and give debuffs to other monsters, and you also get the healing. You get the holy and healing mages. But she can do all three. And these are only basic forms. This is odd for him, and he's getting suspicious, but he's gonna keep it down low. As he continues beating the shiz out of these slimes. He also has a shield, as he's also blocking, yes. I mean, he's just doing this to cover up something, and I can tell you that now, he's hiding something. But, yeah. As if it's not obvious what he's hiding, he's a machine. If you didn't realize it, if you can't see in the picture, he's technically a robot. That's what he's trying to hide. Continuing going down, they went all the way down to the third level. As I would state that Hanzo and Julia even basically told it to call it there. They completed a lot of their missions and even went a bit overboard. But they did complete a lot of their missions. They returned back to their guilds. Hanzo is the Warrior Guild, Julia is the Wizard Guild, as they got their quests in, and stated that they'll do it again tomorrow from the 3rd level down. Once they reach the 5th level, they have to prepare for the boss. Continuing, as I would state that, yeah, not much happens here. Well, not much happens that I can think of at the moment, but I'll put it on pause here so I can think of a few things. So, see you in a sec. Hey guys, okay, short pause, just a short pause, but now I am going to be continuing my video. The video I stopped by was, I think, they have journeyed all the way to the 3rd level of the they've journeyed all the way to the 3rd level of the dungeon that they were in. And now they are taking a break before they knock out the first 2 remaining floors before they head to the boss. The boss is on level 5, or level 5 deep of the dungeon, and they are getting close. They know it evens. They are getting close. So they rather do the rest tomorrow, and when they have to do the boss room, then they can just prepare. Now, we are gonna start this day, the next day, because I said they went back home and split up from the guild. But we're gonna start the next day off. Instead of Julia, we're gonna start off with her partner, that's partnering up with her in the dungeons. I think his name was... Yes, his name was Heisenberg Metal Kenner. We'll be starting off with him instead of Julia. Or just Heisen for short. As let's start off this video. Heisen is basically leaving the area or his home as he's heading to the guild, or technically he lives by the guild. So he's basically exiting his guild, or the warriors guild, to head to the market area. As he's walking the original routes he goes walk by, as a few people are following him. These people being unknown people with just coats and hoodies all around, basically covering their bodies. Also, there are people on the roofs. I can tell you this because number one, he hasn't noticed the people on the roof yet. He only noticed the people that are basically walking along the pathway. As they continue walking, he noticed the guys behind him following as he takes a shortcut through a back alley. He thinks that he's gonna lose them until they move also into the same alley as that just confirms he's being followed. As he starts running down the hallway, the elves, or gosh, I just exposed who they were. The elves, because I already told you who they were, following suit. As I'm not going to tell you what type of elves they are, I'm just going to tell you they're elves. We have to find that out later. As he's running down this dark hallway and narrow hallway, as he is trying to get out and away from these guys without going into a fight. Whatever they want is nothing good. As he continues running with elves following him on the rooftops and basically in the hallway, as another group of them approach the other side of the hallway. As he stops, being cornered from all sides, Evan's looking up and seeing more of them. As he states, so I'm guessing you guys are not just a bunch of robbers, are you? As one of the elves states, you're quite right. We're not robbers. We come to take you back. We come to take a weapon like you back to where you belong. And I suggest you don't fight back. Otherwise this is gonna hurt. As they all pull out their weapons. Swords, bows, daggers, you name the gist of it. As their skin color is quite different. Their skin color is a bluish, darkish color.
as they look a bit different than normal elves. They're not half elves, they're not long ears, they look a bit different than normal elves. As I would state that we cut, before the battle starts, we cut to Jovia a few minutes before this incident occurring, as Julia is doing the same thing she does always, running to the guild as fast as she can, as she is cutting through hallways, jumping over ships, and even jumping over large gaps that would leave a person dead. Keep on moving, and she is moving at a very high pace. Her acrobatic level is already 20. Her, her parkour level and climbing level is 20 to 25. Her speed level has reached the 30s, and she is faster than a horse now. She doesn't run out of stamina because she doesn't have any lungs or anything to need stamina, so she's running non-stop. Her strength has also been increased, and also she is moving as fast as she can. As yes, she is jumping over she's jumping on top of buildings, running on top of walls, all that jazz. As she's even basically running across basically bridges as fast as she can, being pretty fast, as she has enough acrobatic skill and parkour skill to dodge everybody that she's about to bump into, including wagons and other animals that get in her way. She is becoming used to the route that she always takes, as she usually takes the routes that are above or below. So, until she drops down 2 levels, until she jumps, misses a step, and drops down 2 levels below. What I mean is, she was on the first level. She missed a jump and fell down straight down to 2 levels down into the kingdom. She is now on the third level of the kingdom, at least. As I would state that she continues running until she comes into a hallway and sees the scene. She sees a bunch of these weird people with the same robes, or the same people that entered her uncle or father's shop, her father figure's shop, and the same people that assumedly killed her father. As she stares at these people, as all she sees is red. She doesn't care who they are, and she knows exactly they are the same people, because the weapons that they are holding, some of them are corrupt weapons. The weapons that they forced her father to make, and he didn't make them, they killed him. As she kind of grabs her fist, basically, she tightens her fist as she basically squeezes. As she's angry, and she wants revenge. She stated that she'll hunt every last one of them down, and she is gonna. As she pulls out an object in her hand, as she throws it down, as flashback, back to Hazen Iceberg, or something Heisen, yeah. We flash back to Heisen, before the fight was about to begin, as the elves try to attack Heisen, until something falls down, an object, an orb. Bam! Smoke covers the area, as she jumps down, unsheathing her blade. She is going to kill these people with prejudice, and then she's going to torture some of them to get the answers she wants. As she walks towards them, as one of the guys, elves, or one of the elves states, "It's her! It's her! It's that, it's that adventurer!" As she walks slowly to them with a fiery determination. As her eyes glisten a glowy red, as it looks like her eyes has turned into a ruby color, as she just stares at them at anger. As she unsheathes her katana slash basically slash staff, as technically Heinz can see her, He can see through the smoke because of his eyes, and he's not a robot. Oh, he is a robot, so yeah. The elves can't see them, but they know that the person that's been hunting them the whole time is here. As they try to escape, nonetheless, she blitzes all of them, cutting the head of the first one off. Sing! As she goes for the second one, cutting his arm off, and then kicking his blade out of his other hand. Then grabbing his own blade that fell on the floor and stabbing him with it. Into the skull. Brutally. This is a brutal massacre. There were about 20 of them. More than in less than a few minutes. More than at least 16 of them died. There are only 4 left. As these 2 of them starts casting spells. As before one of them could finish, both of the 2 spellcasters' hands fall to the ground. As they just start screaming while squirting blood. As this other elf turns around and swings his sword. The sword misses her but hits her hoodie, and knocking the entire hoodie cloak off her. As, yes, the cloak falls to the floor, and if everyone can see what she looks like, she's not human. She's basically a gem. As she continues fighting and she kills the last of them. Sing sing bam. Not one of the elves, only one of them survived. The one that knocked her cloak off. As she walks up to her and basically puts her foot on his chest, stating, "Where is your boss? Where is your boss? I only ask this once question. If you don't answer me, I will kill you." As he states, "Flip you. I don't care what you are. Think I'm scared of a little starfire girl like you? This starfire girl of you nearly wiped out your entire team in less than a few minutes. So you think that I'm weak?" As she puts her blade to his throat, stating, "Think again. You either tell me what you know, or I take it by force. 1, 2, 3. Go flip yourself." As before she slices his throat, she grabs his head with her other free hand as she activates one of her skill. As she got the information, as if you're wondering what skill this is, Picture Perfect Memory has turned into Analyze and has also split off a second skill. Second skill, Mind Reader. She can read anyone's mind and transfer it into knowledge in what she needs to know. But the skill needs the opponent to be down and injured and not able to fight. But if you have a high defense in your mind, or even or even spirit resistance, you can resist the skill. If you have a high spirit resistance, or yeah, basically of that sort. As she lets go of the man's head and then slices his throat. Basically, there's blood on her sword as she swings her sword one side as the blood gets sprayed off. As all the blood is off as she sheaves it back in. As she looks around, as she basically touches the back of her head, seeing that her hoodie and other stuff is not on. As she sees it on the floor, she picks it up and is like, "Ah, there you are." But she didn't realize that he was there. As he says, "Julia?" As he stares at her open-eyed. As she looks at him, didn't put the hoodie back on. As she stared at him, saying, "Shiz, I flipped up. so hard, as she messed up so hard, because now somebody knows that she is not human. Well, technically, he's not human either, so he can't say anything. But yes, now someone knows she's not human, and she says, um, I, uh, I, I gotta go, as she puts on a hoodie and basically books it, as he yells, Julia, wait, as she's gone. He is slower than her by 3 times her speed. He is just slow. He will not keep up with her. No matter what. No matter what he does, he will not keep up with her. As he yells, damn it. I need a I need a find. I need to meet up with her. As I would state that he would be searching for her, because she just yeeted out of there immediately. As the first place he goes is the guild, or her guild, as the guild master state that Julia didn't come in yet. That she didn't, I don't, that the guild master doesn't think that she would come in today. Must be very busy. As I would state that he states, so where does she live really? I would like to get where she lives at the moment so I could speak to her about something. As I would state, the guildmaster would give it to him while smirking a bit and just basically giggling to himself. As she states, what I give to be young again. What I'll give to be young again. As that's quite a statement because you look like a 6-year-old. But yeah, what I give to be young again. As he gets the location of where she lives. As I would state that he would journey all the way to the blacksmith area, or her home. As he enters the blacksmith shop, seeing no one is there. As he continues looking around the blacksmith shop, seeing all the different weapons. Some with very interesting looks and designs. As he walks around the table, or the shopping table where people basically purchase their areas, as he see a back door. As I would state, he would open it, looking around, seeing no one there. As he would continue to look around, finding the upstairs area with technically 2 bedrooms, the one being empty, or the one being filled with stuff, but no one lives there, and yeah, obviously Julia's bedroom. He continues looking around and finds the back entrance, as he finds basically Julia freaking out on wondering what she is gonna do now that somebody knows what she looks like. As she is freaking out, walking up and down, and also she killed people in front of that person. What is she gonna do now? If he reports that to the guild or his guild, she is in big trouble. As she is walking up, down, as she is wondering what she must do. Until we see him enter the room, states Julia. She turns around and states, "Oh no," she as she didn't expect him to come all the way to her. As yeah, now she starts blabbering, stating, "Look, I can explain. I mean, it's a spell thing." As she is blabbering, as he puts his finger on his mouth, stating, "Shh, calm down. I understand. You're not human. I know that's no spell. You can't fool me that easily." As yeah, he they talk for a little bit. As she states that yes, she is not human. She is not a monster either. She only killed those guys because, well, as she states how her father figure, person that she sees as a father, died. As his name was Silver, and how he died was murdered by those people, and she vowed to hunt every last one of them till the bitter end. But yeah, as he states, I understand that. You're angry because of something that someone else did. They ruined your life, and you want them to pay, right? As she states, yes. That's technically, that's what she wants. Pay for their crimes. As he tells her, he thinks he can trust her with this, so he gives her a bit of his background. He is also not human, as he shows his robotic arms and legs and limbs. He is not human. He is a machine. A machine built by dark elves. The people that were trying to attack him, they were trying to kidnap him and bring him back to the place that he never wanted to be. He was created by a dwarf, and this dwarf, with the help of the Dark Elves, created him, a mechanoid human person that is also able to generate its own mana. Very impressive. I also have my own soul, and yeah, I think that's where they made their mistake. Giving me a soul. The Dark Elves never wanted to give me a soul. They just wanted me as a weapon. But the dwarf never wanted to make me in the first place. He was forced to. And he thought to prevent people from using me as a weapon, he gave me something that no machine has. A soul. A thing that I am able to see the wrong from the right and make decisions that I want to do. But the Dark Elves want me back. They want the weapon that they have made and put so hard and worked so hard for back. I don't know why, and I don't know what they're planning, but it's nothing good. As he explains that he was created for destruction. He was created to be this kingdom's end. But he decided no. He'll not destroy this kingdom, but live with the people. And that he is in hiding from the Dark Elves. And if anyone knew that he was a weapon or a machine, the Dark Elves would come for him and kill everyone that he loves and everyone he's made friends with. So yeah, he's in the same situation Julia is in. Both are scared to show them. Both are scared to show that they're not actually humans, because other people will criticize and maybe even send hunters or even adventurers to try to kill them. So yeah, as yes, they basically spent their time together until the next morning, not really sleeping at all. They spent their time talking, as really, if you're a machine and if you are a gem that technically doesn't need to sleep or do anything remotely human, you don't need to eat, don't need a, well, technically, yeah, he doesn't need to eat. He works on mana. Doesn't need to eat, doesn't need to sleep, doesn't need to drink water. Yeah, all that jazz. You can do a lot of things. You are able to do a lot of things other people aren't. That also explains how durable he is. He's able to take a lot of hits because he's literally metal. You're literally attacking a metal object. So, yeah, that's how durable and strong he is. As the morning comes, as I would state that, Juria states, "Come on, we have to go to the guild now." As he would or was about to ask a question until Julia states, "We have to kill a boss, don't we? We have to get to the 4th level and prepare for the boss, don't we?" I believe so, right?
We have to get back to the guild so we can get into the dungeons and head to the final level. And then prepare for the dungeon boss that we have to face, remember? As he states, oh yeah, you're right, as he gets up and he's running. As Julia also takes off. But she stops and then looks at the back and sees how slow he is. And she's like, you're so slow, aren't you? As he is pretty fast. He has a roundabout speed of 13, and that's it. So he's pretty fast. Faster than the slowest horse on earth. But yeah, he's pretty fast nonetheless. And she's like, let me help you. As I would state that she would do something. As he was like, wait, what are you doing? I'm quite heavy, you do know. Whoa! As she would pick him up. She would literally pick him up. Bridal style, by the way. As he would like, how are you? I'm not human, so I really have no strength limit. As her strength is at 65. To be able to carry him, you need 30 strength. 65. Impressive. That's just impressive. As, yeah, she goes, boom, she's off. As she's moving pretty fast. As I would state, they make it in the guild, still on the usual time. As she would put him down and states that they have to check in and then head to the dungeon to get to the final level. As when they entered the guild, a lot of people were busy doing things, and a lot of adventurers were out. There was not a lot of adventurers near the bar area, and the guildmaster was not there either. As she asked one of the receptionists what was going on. Ah, Julia, there you are. Haven't you heard? Or haven't you seen the quest board yet? As she pulls out basically a pamphlet as it's stating a festival to the festival is to celebrate their new alliance with the elves and the demi-humans, as really the guilds across the kingdom are busy basically hunting and preparing for the feast that is going to take place. As yeah, it's a pretty big thing, and as it's technically taking place today, or it's getting set up today, it's going to take place tomorrow. As he was like, oh well, I just came to check in for now, so is there anything that we can do during this festival? Yeah, there is a few quests that we need you to do during this festival, such as hunting for boars, stuff like that. We need you to get a lot of meat for the basically party that's going to be underheld or going to be taken off near the capital. I see. Also, there's a bunch of guarding carriages and escort missions that you also need to do for merchants. So yeah, okay, we'll head into the dungeons to get to our final level, and then we'll do the boss tomorrow, and we'll do some of the quests now while we still have time. It's pretty early in the day, like early morning, as yeah, they went off. The level they got down to level 4, the dungeon boss door. They got to the dungeon boss door and then left basically the dungeon. It was in the middle of the day before they continued what they were actually what the quest, a lot of quests that they had to do. Their rank, they have they have went above bronze at the moment. Technically, the only one that was lower rank. So Heinz though, or Heinz, our robotic boy, he is a higher rank than Julia. He was D, and now he is silver rank F. And Julia is bronze rank triple A, as she needs one more rank up before she ranks up from the guild to silver rank, as she is rising the ranks pretty fast. Continuing on, as yes, they went on a few other missions, and this got her up to silver rank, basically from silver rank F. This got our robot boy Heinz, from silver rank F all the way to silver rank E. It's much more harder to rank up in silver rank than it is to do it in bronze, as she entered her first rank in silver rank F. Yes, our two characters are rising up into the world, and they're getting level ups. As they also, yes, as they also head back and start to help with the festival by setting up a few pan flips, or even like putting like I guess party things around, making the place look festive, as they would head both split up and head back home. As Julia is also preparing to move, as she does that on this day. It's right now the evening as she moves to a new location. This location being interesting. A new home. This blacksmith was a two-story building that was in the prime center of the marketing sector. So basically, it was in the level of which this building was set was near her guild, also near the beginning or the main entrance of the kingdom. This is the place where all adventurers walk past, and also on top of that, where all the flagships or merchant guild ships and other different traveling ships and yeah, come past as well. So she's gonna get a lot of people to buy her weapons here, and also a lot of people gonna come in and look at the different weapons. Her building is massive. This is the front center of the building. This is what you see when you enter. You see a fireplace, you see weapons on the walls, on the rags. Yeah, you see weapons everywhere, even armor. You head to the back of the room and you find the forge. This is the forge. This is where she'll make her weapons. And the furnace has been suited to make different types of weapons of all kinds and all levels, and all heat levels. This place is the hottest area in the building. You head right to the back and you get, yeah, this is where she contains most of her goodies, her materials that she's gonna make her weapons with. And this is what it mostly looks like near the near the front. Off to the side you get this place just of swords and weapons that she places. So yeah, this place is pretty big, and if you go right at the back of the forge to the left of you, so if you go upstairs, you will find just libraries of weapons and libraries of space, as the guild is offering this land just for tax. And why did she get this big of a place? Well, number one, this was the only blacksmith building that was available. And number two,
Blacksmith's buildings in this fantasy universe are more bigger than what she had. She just got a small thing. There are bigger blacksmith buildings than what like you're seeing now. So yeah, don't 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 underestimate how you're gonna see how big a blacksmith can really get. But continuing on, this is the building she gets. Also, as she moved in this evening, she also is setting up and also starting to fill her shelves with different weapons. And also, because of her analyze skill, she is able to analyze the traits and abilities these swords will and weapons and even armor will give. Some armor gives 5% fire resistance and even more. All the also on a basically blacksmith, all the weapons that cost a fortune and is pretty rare goes in the front, while all the uncommon and common goes in the back. So yeah, so the stuff in the front will cost more than the stuff in the back. So yes, she also outside a door because number one, she has a two-size door. So a door technically is like a two door. And she can close both of the doors, and then she has a back port entrance to put weapons. Weapons of weak status, such as like weapons you can just pick up and like give like 3 coppers for, and it's not really worth anything. Those swords are just meant to basically those swords are swords that are worth nothing. But also she got a sword lottery out there. The barrels of swords that she has, she either got legendaries, common, or rares, or even uncommon there. She puts all different types of swords in there, and that barrel is always filled with different swords. Now the armor as well. The armor sometimes hangs on walls and even on basically stands. But this is a but this is basically her dream. This is her dream blacksmith area, and she's loving it. Sorry about that, I'm just looking at something here. Okay, continuing. So yeah, enough about the blacksmith area. Now about what's going to happen. As we see a massive mothership floating by, as this is the next morning, as she's watching everybody out on the streets celebrating, cheering, and greeting the new inhabitants that is coming in the city. And these people being the elves and even demi-humans. As she is watching this, in wonder, as she sees all these royal elves, royal demi-humans that have pretty much a lot of power in the state of politics. As you just watch these flagships float daily, going past and everyone is cheering and just having a ball of the time. As yes, there is going to be there in the center of the city, in the center of the city, they are going to have a speech. Everyone is going to be able to hear the speech. But Julia is going to have first front row tickets because she's going to move at lightning speed to get to get her first seat. As she moves at the speed of a light just to get to her new partner. As she greets her partner and states, "We gotta go quickly," as he's like, "Julia, wait, what are you doing?" As she basically picks him up like she's gonna do a suplex and just runs with him. As he is basically he is on her back as she's booking it at the moment. She's jumping over roofs and stuff. As she's technically keeping up with the flagships that are moving quite quickly through the city. Or they're moving slow really. As she's keeping up with the flagships. As she gets to the center of the city because there's going to be an announcement there. As she jumps so far as she makes it to the front of the line before anyone else. As she drops down And he's like, never do that again, please. I feel like I'm gonna hurl, but robots can't hurl. But you can't hurl. You're not a human. As she states while smoking. As he's like, not what I meant. But you're kind of right on that last part. Yeah, but never do that again. If you're gonna do that again, warn me. As she's like, okay. If I'll ever pick you up again, I'll warn you. As he looks at her with basically while squinting his eyes, as she basically states, I promise, while lifting up her hands and splitting her two fingers, which is her pinky and ring finger to the left, and her middle finger and index finger to the right, basically showing a peace sign with a hand. As, yeah, he just shakes it off and basically continues watching. It's like, so what did you bring me here for? As like the announcement. Ah, I see. Might be important. I wonder what's gonna happen. And she's like, I wonder too. As they watch, she's technically in front of the line. As I would state that they would move to the side, off to the side, somewhere to the side, where they can see everything happening at an angle. Now there are buildings and bridges up in the like high above, but the central plaza really doesn't have anything. It just has like there are a few like buildings that have bridges walking across and high plateaus areas, but it's just the central part, the central areas where most of the announcement happens. As technically there's a stage there, as some of the some mages bring out their crystals, as this is projecting, these crystals are projecting the same thing that people are seeing here across the kingdom, as it's like a camera that is live, but not really, it's just made out of a crystal. As yes, sorry about that, they start speaking. The elves are the first one to speak, or technically the demi-humans go first, then the elves. When the elves came up, they speak of peace and prosperity, and how they hope that this long war that they've been waging against each other will finally end, and that they can finally come to a peaceful agreement and actually live in harmony and prosperity. And everything that happened in the past is history, and the future is just a mystery, and that they should hope for the future and a better tomorrow. Obviously, that things until something happened. A few shady figures appeared on the rooftop. People with the same coats that killed Silver and also attacked our new, basically, friend. As everyone looked, as I would state, the one who notices first is Julia. Now, here's a problem. The problem is the guards are more around Julia and her partner than they are around the two weird than they are around the suspicious people. Why? Because Julia and her partner are wearing hoodies just as the same like the same people that are wearing hoodies that are gonna do shady things. As this one person draws back an arrow with a crystal attached to it. This crystal is growing a weird aura as she sees the arrow. As this man launches, as she moves fast, basically stating to her partner, we gotta stop them. As her partner takes note of what's happening. As I would say, she would try to run to, how can I say it, block the incoming arrow that is about to hit the elf sir. As she yells, get out of the way! As all the elves, which was the guards, basically react to what she's about to do and try to stop her from getting too close to the emperor or the elf royal. As she is running and the elves try to stop her because they think she is gonna do something or she's an assassin, but that's far from it. As Her partner changes her whip, changes his entire hand into a gosh darn hammer, and swats the elves away as she jumps as in a dive state because she's not going to get there in time, as she basically jumps in front of the elf and takes the arrow that had a crystal attached to it on the front. Bam! As she screams, as the ore that was basically inside this crystal or this gem basically gets sent into a system or her magic system, as it gives her so much pain as she drops down to the floor screaming, it hurts, as all the elves watch in awe how this person basically took an arrow for an elf, a royal elf nonetheless, and she wasn't wanted to kill him, she wanted to protect him, as she's saying, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, as this basically energy that was stored in this crystal gets released into our body, and now this unknown energy is now in her body, as she basically falls unconscious. As his partner, her partner thinks, Julia? Julia! God, please, oh no, don't tell me, no, 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 no. Julia, wake up, no, no, this can't be happening. No, 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 as she doesn't respond, as he thinks she's dead, as he stands up slowly, looks at the elves as he morphs his hand into a cannon and starts firing random shots at the people at the direction of where they came from. As he's pissed and now he's on a blood hunt. As I would state, the elves or the elf guards and some of the guards start hunting down the guys that basically shot that arrow. As she falls unconscious. And a big fat to be continued on that last part. If you love the episode, and I'm telling you, interesting things are gonna happen. And now I'm gonna tell you this one more thing. One more thing. Watch What If I Was in the Ruby Universe, the final episode. Watch them. Because if you don't, you will not understand. You will not understand why I put this episode in. You will not understand why this happened. So I suggest you watch What If I Was in Ruby to understand why this happened and what the crystal with the weird aura meant that has been embedded into our Izuki Midoriya's, or Julia for short, why she passed out from it. So suggestion, watch the entire episode of What If I Was in Ruby Universe and the end for you to understand what actually happened and why she passed out. I can't stop smiling on my spot, and also I like to do a few shout outs. Shout out to my friends that did a collab with me. I'll leave links in the description down below if you want to check out their channel. I have to do a shout out for them, and also shout out for the person that gave me the character that I can work with, or Julia's new partner. So yeah, until the next time guys, bye!